So listening to music and feeling into it is a massive part of being a guitar player. And I want to share with you how I listen to music. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of every single time I post a video out on playing guitar. So listening to music can happen kind of on three different levels. Level one, you've kind of just got music when it's in the background, you know, like whether you're studying or whether you're going to the gym or what so. And it's just on in the background, filling up the space. You're not paying a huge amount of attention to it. The kind of second level is when you're just fully feeling the emotion of it, like, you know, when you're about to go have a party or you're about to go out, or and it's giving you that particular feeling, and you're not listening to it in an in-depth way, but you're kind of like semi there. And then you get kind of like the third level, which is where you actually are really into the song. You know, you're listening to the lyrics, you're listening to the breakdown of the music, you're listening to what creates it, you're getting into the thinking of the artist and how they're pulling that sound out and how they're transferring it across. So there is a difference on different levels of listening to music. So the way that I listen to music, myself personally, is I first, I'll hear the instruments first as the sound comes through. And then I'll hear the melody. And I won't necessarily hear the lyrics straight away. I will feel the feeling that's coming through the music. And it'll normally be, you know, it'll normally be that feeling of, whoa, I really love this and I want to listen to this more. Like, what is this amazing, you know, thing that's just blowing through the speakers? Or it'll be like, okay, I might not visit that piece of music again. So from that point onwards, I will then decide if I actually want to go in and listen to the track in a way that I want to create it and break it down. So if I go into that, it'll be it's normally again when I close my eyes, and then you begin to actually pinpoint. You can zoom your focus in onto the guitar and you can pick that sound out within the sound spectrum. You can then zone in on the bass, you can then zone in on the drum, you can then zone in on the vocal melody. And that takes quite a lot of like kind of deep listening. But when you do that, it gives you a full like overview of the spectrum, but you also learn how things work in context to each other. So you learn how the guitar is bouncing off the drum and how it's sitting in the bass. Because a lot of the times within a piece of music, if you had to just isolate the one instrument, it wouldn't make sense by itself. It's like when it's in context with the rest, it makes sense. So that's how I would go into then look at it on how to create those pieces. So I'd love to hear in the comments section how you listen to music. Do you hear the melody first? Do you hear the lyrics first? Or do you hear the music first? So at this point now, I will begin to listen to the lyrics. And I'll begin to read them and interpret what the band or the artist is, you know, trying to say, what they're putting across, and be listening to the message. And that, you know, I know a lot of good vocalists who will, not in all cases, but they'll hear the lyrics first, or they'll have the lyrics first, or they'll hear the melody and be able to put melody to music before the music is even there. So it can work both ways. I know myself as a musician, I hear the music first, and then I hear the melody and the lyrics second. So listening to music in a conscious way will really give you a sense of direction of which instrument you might want to learn how to play, or perhaps will make sense of the reason why you're actually playing the instrument you're playing. Because when you listen to a piece, it'll bring out, you might hear the guitar sound first, or you might hear the drum sound first. Then when I think of music, I think it's really healthy to have that sense or that feeling of the emotional gauge as well as the technical gauge. So you can kind of just be on the emotional side, but you might not be able to organize things and actually learn the instrument well enough. But you don't want to just fully be on the technical side and not be able to feel what it is that you're playing. So when I think about music and when I listen to music and I create it, for me it's very much a balance of both worlds, and having access to feel it emotionally and connect it that way, and then feel it technically and gain that insight, I think is what creates great players especially when you look at some of the big players on the planet. They have the ability to pull out both of these things and tend to have a really good balance of it. So if you're keen to find out how I coach and teach guitar, I'll leave a link in the description to some of my free videos. Just download those and check them out. Also, if you want an in-depth study or transition in guitar playing, pretty much starting at any point, going from beginner to highly advanced, I would say check out my guitar course in the description below. Also, be sure to check out this video next. I'll leave a link in the description below. But until then, peace out.